Good morning. I've been thinking again uh, about Narcotics Anonymous. And I guess I want to start from the beginning because the basis of Narcotics Anonymous is the 12 steps of recovery. That is the basic foundation of Narcotics Anonymous. And I know a lot of people feel like Narcotics Anonymous is some kind of cult or some kind of crazy ass way of living, but we just a bunch of people that's trying to recover, that's recovering from the disease of addiction. I call it the dis-ease because that is how you feel when you caught up in your addiction. But I wanted to read a few excerpts from how it works, and this is sort of like the guideline or foundation of what Narcotics Anonymous is really about. It says that we feel that our approach to the disease of addiction is completely realistic, for the therapeutic value of one addict helping another is without parallel. We feel that our way is practical, for one addict can best understand and help another addict. We believe that the sooner we face our problems within our society in everyday living, just that much faster do we become acceptable, responsible, and productive members of that society. The only way to keep from returning to active addiction is to not take that first drug. If you are like us, you know that one is too many and 1,000 is never enough. We put great emphasis on this, for we know that when we use drugs in any form or substitute one for another, that we release our addiction all over again. Thinking of alcohol as different from other drugs has caused a great many addicts to relapse before we came to NA. Many of us viewed alcohol separately, but we cannot afford to be confused by this. Alcohol is a drug, and we are people with the disease of addiction who must abstain from all drugs in order to recover. These are some of the questions that we have asked ourselves. Are we sure that we want to stop using? Do we understand that we have no real control over drugs? Do we recognize in the long run that we didn't use drugs? They used us. Did jails and institutions take over the management of our lives at different times? Do we really accept the fact that our every attempt to stop using or to control our using failed? Do we know that our addiction changed us into someone we didn't want to be? Dishonest, deceitful, self willed people at odds with ourselves and our fellow man? Do we really believe that we have failed as drug users? When we were using, reality became so painful that oblivion was preferable. We tried to keep other people from knowing about our pain. We isolated ourselves. We lived in prisons that we built with loneliness. Through this desperation, we sought help in Narcotics Anonymous. When we came to NA, we are physically, mentally, and spiritually bankrupt. We have hurt so long that we are willing to go to any length to stay clean. Our only hope is to live by the example of those who have faced our dilemma and have found a way out. Regardless of who we are, where we came from, or what we have done, we are accepted in NA. Our addiction gives us a common ground for understanding one another. As a result of attending a few meetings, we begin to feel like we finally belong somewhere. It is in these meetings that we are introduced to the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous. We learn to work the steps in the order that they are written and to use them on a daily basis. The steps are our solution. They are our survival kit. They are our defense against addiction, which is a deadly disease. Our steps are the principles that make our recovery possible. I don't think that sounds like something that was written by people that was in an occult, because we know, uh, and I firmly believe after almost 30 years of being a therapist, that there's more than one way to recover and to get clean and stay clean. Yes, and NA is not the only way. But out of my experiences and the many clients that I done had to deal with over the last almost 30 years of of addiction and being in recovery, I found that NA is probably one NAAA also. NA is probably the most successful way for a person to initially get clean and also establish a foundation for them to stay clean. This is what Narcotics Anonymous is about, is to provide a support system for those individuals that can identify and relate to our dilemma that we face when we get to a certain chronic stage of our addiction. See, a lot of people don't realize that, when you're addicted, you are socially, mentally, spiritually, and physically isolated from other individuals. You want to be around individuals that share the same goals and aspirations as you, and that's to get one more. Okay, but in Narcotics Anonymous, it's the same principle, but we are chasing being clean on a day-to-day basis, not trying to get one more or spending our money and wasting our resources on continuing to pick up and use, because that is the end result. The end result is death, premature death, institutionalization, or insanity. Those three things are guaranteed for us if we continue to use drugs and alcohol once we reach a chronic stage of our addiction. I just wanted to share this very quickly with people and the continuation of our insights into the Narcotic Anonymous Nation, or the Narcotics Anonymous program. That this is not about it's being an occult. This is about one addict reaching out to try to help another addict. I hope you have a blessed and wonderful day. Peace.